Silent collapse presents something that will change everything you thought you knew about money. Right now, at this very moment, the world's most powerful banks are doing something they've never done before. They're panic buying gold like the world is ending. And here's the terrifying part. They know something you don't. In the next 60 seconds, I'm going to show you why the cash in your wallet might be worthless sooner than you think, and why the people who control the money are running for the exits. If you don't watch this entire video, you might wake up one day and find out your life savings vanished overnight. Stop scrolling. Stop whatever you're doing. Because what I'm about to tell you is not theory. It's not speculation. It's happening right now while you sleep, while you work, while you trust that everything is fine. The biggest financial institutions on planet Earth just made a move that screams panic. And if you ignore this warning, you're going to regret it for the rest of your life. Central banks bought over 1,000 tons of gold last year. But here's what makes your blood run cold. They're not slowing down, they're accelerating. China bought gold for 18 straight months. Russia is hoarding it despite sanctions. Turkey, Poland, India, Singapore, even small countries you've never heard of are grabbing every ounce they can find. This isn't normal. This isn't routine portfolio management. This is fear, raw, desperate fear from the people who are supposed to be in control. Now ask yourself one simple question. Why would the people who literally print money be desperate to trade that paper for rocks pulled from the ground? Think about that. The institutions that create currency out of thin air are saying that physical gold is more valuable than the money they create. Let that sink in deep. They don't trust their own system anymore. And here's the part that should make you physically sick. While they're loading up on gold, they're telling you everything is fine. Turn on any financial news channel right now. They'll tell you the economy is recovering. Inflation is cooling. Don't worry, be happy. But behind closed doors, behind the press conferences and the reassuring statements, these same people are making the biggest bet of their lives that paper money is about to become toilet paper. I'm going to prove this to you with facts so clear, so undeniable, that by the end of this video, you won't be able to unsee what's happening. But first, I need you to do something. If you want to be one of the few people who sees the collapse coming before it destroys you, smash that like button right now and subscribe to the silent collapse. I'm dead serious. The algorithm buries content like this because the powers that be don't want you to know. Your like and subscription are literally the only way this truth spreads. Do it now before you forget. Okay, here's what they're hiding from you. The US dollar is dying. Not tomorrow, not next year. It's dying right now, and the death process has already started. Countries that spent 70 years using dollars for everything are suddenly making deals in their own currencies. China and Brazil just cut the dollar out completely. Russia and India trade without touching dollars. Saudi Arabia, the country that built the entire petrodollar system, just announced they're open to selling oil in other currencies. Do you understand what this means? The petrodollar is dead. The system that forced every country on earth to hold US dollars is crumbling. And when countries don't need dollars anymore, what do you think happens to the value of the dollars in your bank account? They collapse. Simple supply and demand. When nobody wants dollars, dollars become worthless. But it gets so much worse. The United States has $36 trillion in debt. Not million, not billion, trillion with a T, and we're adding another trillion every 100 days. Every 100 days. Your government is so broke, so completely financially destroyed, that it has to borrow $10 billion every single day just to keep the lights on. And nobody wants to buy that debt anymore. China is selling US treasuries. Japan is selling. Foreign central banks are dumping American debt as fast as they can. So who's buying it? Nobody. The Federal Reserve has to print money out of thin air to buy our own debt. This is the exact same thing Zimbabwe did before their currency collapsed. The exact same thing Weimar Germany did before people needed wheelbarrows full of cash to buy bread. And it's happening right here, right now, in the United States of America. The central bankers know this. They've studied every currency collapse in history. The Roman denarius, the French assignat, the German paper mark. Every single fiat currency ever created has failed. 100% failure rate. Not 90%, not 99%, 100%, and the US dollar will not be the magical exception. That's why they're buying gold. Gold has been money for 5,000 years. Gold survived the fall of Rome. Gold survived world wars. Gold survived every government collapse and currency crisis in human history. When paper money dies, gold lives. Always has, always will. Here's something that'll blow your mind. Since Nixon took us off the gold standard in 1971, the dollar has lost 97% of its purchasing power. 97%. Meanwhile, gold went from $35 an ounce to over $2,000. That's not because gold got more valuable. It's because your dollars became nearly worthless. Do you see the scam? They're getting you to hold paper assets that will evaporate while they accumulate the real money. It's the biggest wealth transfer in human history, and it's happening right under your nose. The rich know gold is real money. The powerful are hoarding it, but they need you to keep believing in paper so they can keep extracting your wealth. Here's a question that should terrify you. How much of your wealth is in physical assets versus paper promises? If you're like most Americans, everything you own is tied to the dollar. Your paycheck is dollars. Your savings is dollars. Your retirement is in stocks and bonds priced in dollars. You have zero protection against what's coming. Now imagine this scenario. You wake up tomorrow and the dollar has lost 50% of its value overnight. Not impossible. It's happened to dozens of countries. Your $100,000 in the bank still shows $100,000, but it only buys what $50,000 used to buy. Half your life savings gone in one night. No theft, no robbery, just currency collapse. And there's nothing you can do because it's too late. And now it's happening again, but faster, much faster. Do you remember when gas was under $2 a gallon? When a decent car cost $20,000? When you could buy a house for $100,000? That wasn't that long ago. But your dollars are dying so fast now that prices are doubling every few years. And it's going to accelerate. The Polish central bank came out publicly and said, "Gold is the ultimate safe haven against unpredictable changes." These are the actual words from their official statement. They're not even hiding it anymore. They're openly admitting the system is unstable and gold is the only protection. But American media? Crickets, complete silence. They don't want you to know. Let me tell you what's really going to cook your brain. While central banks are panic buying gold, Wall Street and financial advisors are telling regular people to avoid it. They call it a barbarous relic. They say it doesn't produce income. They push you into stocks and bonds, all denominated in currencies that are collapsing. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, these same institutions are facilitating the biggest gold purchases in history for their central bank clients. This is why you need to pay attention to what central banks are doing, not what they're saying. Their words say everything is fine. Their actions say run for your life. When the smartest financial minds on the planet are desperately buying gold, you better believe they see something coming that will destroy unprepared people. Turkey has doubled its gold reserves while fighting massive inflation. You'd think they'd sell gold to stabilize their currency, right? Wrong. They're buying more because they know that when currency fails, gold is the only thing that matters. The Czech Republic, Hungary, Thailand, countries from completely different regions with different problems are all doing the exact same thing. This is coordinated panic on a global scale. And here's what makes it absolutely insane. The average American has almost zero gold. Most people's entire net worth is in their house, their 401k, and their bank account. All dollar denominated, all at risk, all about to be destroyed by inflation that's only going to get worse. The wealth gap that's about to open up will be unlike anything in modern history. Those who understand what's happening will preserve their wealth. Everyone else will be financially annihilated.
Before I show you what happens next, I need you to do something right now. Comment below and tell me if you own any physical gold or silver. I want to know how many people watching this are actually prepared. And if this video is opening your eyes to reality, share it with someone you care about. Your friends and family need this information before it's too late. This might be the most important thing you share all year. Now let's talk about the end game. As more countries dump the dollar, as more central banks buy gold, the demand for dollars is going to fall off a cliff. And when demand collapses, so does value. Everything you buy that comes from overseas is going to skyrocket in price. Electronics, cars, clothes, food, medicine, everything. Your standard of living is going to crater so fast it'll make your head spin. We're already seeing it start. You notice how much more expensive everything is? That's not corporate greed. That's not supply chains. That's currency devaluation in real time. Every time the government prints another $1 trillion, the money in your pocket becomes worth less. It's basic math. More dollars chasing the same amount of goods means each dollar buys less.
But here's where it gets truly catastrophic. When the dollar loses its reserve currency status, when the world stops needing dollars for trade, America loses its superpower. For decades, we've been able to print unlimited money and export our inflation to other countries because they had to hold dollars. But when that ends, all that inflation comes home, all of it, at once. The government will face an impossible choice. Cut spending massively or print even more money. Cutting spending means riots, protests, political suicide. So they'll print. And when they print to cover $40 trillion in debt, plus all the promises made for Social Security and Medicare, we're talking about hyperinflation. Real wheelbarrows of cash hyperinflation. Think I'm exaggerating? It's happened to over 50 countries in modern history. Germany, Hungary, Zimbabwe, Venezuela, Argentina, Yugoslavia. It happens when governments print money to cover debts they can't pay. And America's debt is bigger than all of those countries combined. The math doesn't work. The debt cannot be repaid. Something has to break. Central banks know this. They've run the numbers. They've seen the projections. They know the dollar is doomed. That's why they're converting their dollar reserves into gold as fast as possible. They're getting out before the ship sinks. And they're not telling you because they need you to keep holding dollars while they exit. Here's the thing that makes this even more sinister. While they're buying gold, they're also telling you that inflation is transitory, that interest rates will come down soon, that everything will return to normal. But their actions prove they're lying. If they really believed inflation was temporary, why would they need gold? If they really thought the system was stable, why the panic buying? Singapore's central bank, one of the most sophisticated in the world, has been quietly accumulating gold. These people don't make mistakes. They don't act on emotion. They're calculated, careful, conservative, and they're buying gold. That should tell you everything you need to know about what's coming. Let me paint you a picture of what life looks like when this fully unravels. Your grocery bill doubles, then triples. Your rent or mortgage payment stays the same, but your paycheck buys half as much. Your retirement account number might even go up, but the purchasing power collapses. You're working harder, earning more dollars, but getting poorer every single day. This is the slow motion destruction of the middle class. And the worst part? Most people won't even understand what's happening to them. They'll blame greedy corporations. They'll blame politicians. They'll blame inflation. But they won't see the real cause, the deliberate destruction of the currency through unlimited money printing and debt accumulation. The system is designed to transfer wealth from people who hold paper to people who hold real assets. The wealthy elite figured this out decades ago. That's why they own real estate, art, businesses, commodities, and yes, gold. They don't hold cash. They know cash is trash. But they need you to keep holding it. They need you to keep working for dollars and saving dollars while those dollars melt away like ice in the sun. It's the greatest theft in history, and it's completely legal. Here's what you need to understand. Inflation is not rising prices. Inflation is the devaluation of currency. Prices aren't going up. Your money is becoming worthless. That's a crucial distinction that changes everything. When you understand that your dollars are dying, you stop trying to save more dollars and start converting them into things that hold value. This is why every wealthy family in history has owned gold. The Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the Morgans. They understood that paper money comes and goes, but gold is forever. And now, central banks around the world are making the same bet. They're saying gold is the only real money left standing. The price of gold hitting all-time highs isn't gold going up. It's the dollar going down. And we're just at the beginning of this move. Some analysts are predicting $5,000 gold. Some say $10,000. Some say even higher. And they're not crazy. They're just reading the tea leaves. And when you have governments printing unlimited money to cover unlimited debt, the currency collapses. It's that simple. Now imagine you're holding $100,000 in a savings account earning 1% interest while real inflation runs at 10, 15, maybe 20%. You're losing $10,000 to $15,000 per year in purchasing power. That's not wealth preservation. That's wealth destruction. The bank is literally stealing from you through inflation, and you can't even see it happening because the number in your account stays the same. This is the silent collapse. Not a dramatic crash, not a single catastrophic event, just a slow, grinding destruction of your purchasing power that happens so gradually you don't notice until it's too late. Until you're working 2 jobs instead of 1, until your retirement isn't enough to live on, until your kids can't afford the life you had. That's the future for people who don't understand what's happening. But here's the good news, and yes, there is good news. You're watching this video, you're learning the truth. You still have time to protect yourself. Not much time, but some time. The window is closing fast, but it hasn't closed yet. You can still make moves to preserve your wealth and protect your family. The first step is understanding that paper money is not wealth. It's just paper. Real wealth is things that have intrinsic value. Land, commodities, skills, resources, and yes, gold and silver. These things maintain value regardless of what happens to government currencies. This is what the rich know that you don't. Central banks increasing their gold reserves is the clearest signal you're ever going to get. This is your warning. This is your chance to see what's coming before it destroys you. The question is, are you going to act on this information, or are you going to hope everything works out? Because hope is not a strategy. The divide between people who prepare and people who don't is about to create the biggest wealth gap in human history. One group will preserve their savings and maybe even profit from the chaos. The other group will be financially destroyed. Which group do you want to be in? Every day you wait, every day you keep all your assets in paper, is a day you're gambling with your family's future. The central bankers aren't gambling. They're buying gold. They're preparing. They know what's coming. And if you're smart, you'll follow their actions, not their words. Comment right now and let me know. Are you prepared for what's coming, or are you still trusting the system? And please, share this video with everyone you know. The silent collapse is accelerating, and most people are completely blind to it. This information could save someone's financial life. The truth is ugly. The truth is scary. But the truth is also your only protection against what's coming. Central banks are running to gold because they know paper money is finished. The only question left is whether you're going to figure this out in time to do something about it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video where we go even deeper into how to protect yourself from the collapse.